Hello and welcome to another skill of the week. This week we are working on how artists use space with the fifth graders. So fifth grade, we are going to be reviewing how we've put together those pictures that we've been working on, and you're cutting out a background picture, a middle ground picture, and a foreground picture from 3 separate magazine pictures. And remember that the foreground picture needs to be really large. It's going to be in the bottom part of the page, and you need to cut right on the edge of your object. If he, like for instance, the fox is sitting in some greenery with a log around him, so yes, go ahead and cut some of that out around him because you're going to need that. You can't just cut it off and then he's got no legs. You also can't just cut a big head out. You actually have to have the body. And then remember, we're trying to face them into the picture to draw the person's eye into the picture. Then you need to make sure you cut out a middle-sized picture that's smaller than the foreground picture. Now, obviously this barn looks a little bit bigger, but a barn is way bigger than a fox. So you have to think about, okay, if this fox were running through this area in the foreground, would he look like he was smaller than the barn? And that's what you need to make sure that you're thinking about. Then you're going to make sure you cut out a background picture that has some sky in it and some land that you can overlap your middle ground picture with. Because remember, artists give us the illusion of space by making things smaller as they go back and go up the page, and then using clarity and color. Now, obviously with magazine pictures, sometimes you're not going to get that faded or blued out look like you would in real life. If you're looking out at the mountains, let's say if you're driving to Colorado from Nebraska, and you get closer and you see the mountains in the distance, they have this kind of bluish tinge. You can see that kind of bluish tinge in the distance there. That's called atmospheric perspective. And that just means that the clarity of color, it has dimmed down a little bit and isn't true to color. Like we know mountains can sometimes be brown depending on whether it's all has dirt or whatever, or just green because the trees are there. When you're hiking in the mountains, you see brown dirt and green trees and that kind of thing. But when you're far, far away, you're going to see different colors. So, okay, so that was the example that we worked on. Remember, we're going to blend those colors together with colored pencils. So this was the one that we kind of worked on together to see where those objects go. Now this one's just slightly different. I have a different kind of background here. My middle ground is a little bit lower than the previous one. It does have a barn in it. This time I cut right on the edge, and then I left some of the things for that middle ground to give us an idea of where everything is and what's around it so that I could continue this fence if I want to. Same with the foreground. My pheasant in the magazine had part of his tail cut off. So I went ahead and put that on the edge of the paper so that it doesn't look like he's just got his tail hacked off. It looks like he's just walking into the page. Also, he was sitting on a branch, and I didn't want to just cut his legs off. So keep that branch there, and then you'll just continue drawing what you see there. I also have a tree behind him, but I'm going to just cut part of that off, and then I'm going to make it kind of like a stump so that we can blend the rest of that. Otherwise, that tree would just be up through the page and it would cover a lot of your work. So this is how we're going to get it started when we work with the colored pencils. I'm going to turn on a light here so we have some light for our image. My stuff set up here. Okay, so when you're selecting your colored pencils, you want to pick things that are going to match your colors. So like with the sky, it's very, very light. You can see that it's darker at the top than it is down at the bottom. You need to make sure that you are coloring very, very light. You're not going to get that deep dark tone that you will in a magazine picture, but you can get the same color pretty much if you just layer your colored pencils very lightly Not worrying about getting it super dark, but the main thing is neatness because we want that sky to match our background. Okay, I accidentally got a dark spot on here, so I can't really blend that in. But I'm going to work on that, just light, light, light. And on this, I am coloring in the same direction because I am coloring so light. You can color in a different direction as long as you keep your lines really light. If you color in another direction and your line is dark, then you're going to have trouble making it blend because you're just going to see all of your pencil lines. Okay, so I've got some of that colored, and you can see, sorry, here, I'm going to have to turn it upside down just because of the video. You can see that it matches pretty well. Okay, at least the color matches. Okay, but I need to get this landscape drawn in. So I'm just going to take green and just kind of figure out where I might have land. And it does have bluffs here, so I'm going to add a couple of bluffs. Sorry if you can't see it. I have my video. There we go. Okay. There we go. And I'm just going to create that land all the way across. And then that way I can color my sky all the way to the edge of my land and not overlap. Keeping it really light. I can always go darker. I can't go lighter once it's too dark. So, because, you know, these aren't erasable colored pencils. So you need to make sure that you're just keeping things really, really light. Okay, so I'm not going to finish out that sky because it's kind of boring for you to watch me color a piece of paper. But I'm going to show you how I would look at these bluffs, for instance, and say, okay, I'm going to draw it similar to that. It has some dark green on it, and I'm going to use some texture because this has texture on it. And just short marks to create this illusion of trees on there. And I'm going to leave some spaces, not coloring everything in, because there are some light brown spots in there. So I'm using a tan colored pencil to go back in and create this landscape area here, this dirt area. Okay. And I could even add some of this back in the background, this blue area here. I'm going to keep it light again. And I'll probably layer it a little bit with some green, just so it gives the illusion of that background area. And then add some of these little bushes here. Again, I'm just creating little textural areas by just moving my pencil in short little spurts, not making it too much all at once, being patient. Okay, there's a lot of tan stuff in there, so adding my tan areas. Now you can see there's kind of a golden brown area there, so I've got another pencil that's kind of a yellow ochre color, and I could add that golden color there. And you can always layer more colors to get the tones that you need. But just kind of estimate what you think you might see in those other areas of the landscape. And then we have some really light areas here. Can add something there with some greenery. So see what I mean? I'm just going back and forth with different colors, trying to copy something that I see over here and bring it over to this other side of the page. And I would do the same thing for these other areas where I'm maybe recreating the fence over here or extending it here, and then the grass. Now as we get closer here, we see that the grass is taller. Okay, so like here I'm making little short marks. Here I would make longer marks because that grass is really tall. Okay, so I would have to think about what that grass would look like in the middle ground, and as it goes back in space, you know, again, I'm starting dark, or I'm starting light, and then I can always work darker. And once you get done blending all these areas together, all the white needs to be filled up, then you're going to have a picture that is a collage / drawing showing your knowledge of foreground, middle ground, and background, as well as your use of colored pencils. So let's work on that today and get all of our pictures cut out and glued and start matching all of those colors. See you later.